Hello, friends. Let us watch DuBu one more time. So, in the first game we saw, double melee. Second game, double range. This game, I don't know what it's going to be. I think it's probably one melee, one range. We'll see. But more importantly, they lose this game. For the first two, he won. And so I want to see, what happened that they lost this game. Now, obviously, you can't win every game. And looking at the ranks, it's a little unbalanced. So this team is full top 100, whereas here you have a bit more variety. So that could be an underlying cause. But let's see from, DuBu's perspective, Undying. Let's see if there's anything that we can pick out that might have affected why he lost. Now, he did get a Meteor Hammer this game. Underlord, not the best tower taker at the start of the game. He's probably slightly better than Timbersaw in terms of damage, but Timbersaw is able to cut the wave a little better than Underlord is, so I'm not fully sure. Wind Ranger, technically her ult is quite good at taking towers, but as a 4 support, she wants to be a little further back than like in range of hitting towers. So I don't think she's the best at taking towers either. And she's not going to have the items to like half the damage, and her damage is going to have been reduced from the ultimate. So yeah. Void Spirit, not the best tower taker like we talked about in the first video. Arc Warden is good at hitting towers at the 50-minute mark. So it takes Arc Warden a while to get online, and until then, he's kind of just farming. He just farms. So if his team wants to get anything done in like the first 40 minutes, they're probably not going to have Arc Warden there to chip down towers. So I can see why Meteor Hammer could be good again this game. Plus, you have that same setup with the Yule's Aether from this guy, maybe a good Shackle, possibly a Pit, though I think it's a little harder to combo on Pit. But when you factor in like the Tombstone slow, so you drop Tombstone, maybe people come running to try to break it, you throw down like Pit, you throw down a Shackle, and you're channeling Meteor Hammer on it. That could be maybe another reason. But they do lose this game, so let's see. Has a stick again, doesn't get a wand. Let's find out why. Let's just get into it. Yeah, in terms of draft, I can see why it might be a little harder. I think Veno is very annoying to deal with as a melee hero, just because, you have to walk up to hit his wards. It takes a couple hits, so the enemy knows where you are when you're doing that. Plus, you're getting slowed the whole time. It's like so annoying as a melee hero against Veno. Let's get to DuBu. So what's DuBu gonna buy? He hasn't decided himself. He's sharing 2 tangos with the Void. He has a ward again. Always starting with a ward. Some heroes really like to have it. So he's choosing to get a Windlace, 2 mangoes, and a salve. And he's going to mid to ward. Is he? Why is he walking mid? It looks like he is. So what is... It's tough. I'm not sure who's in the off lane. It could be Veno, could be Nature's Prophet. And therefore it could also be like Veno, Treant, and very unlikely but possibly Invoker 4. So it's a bit vague. Holding on to his ward, it looks like the okay, he's saying like I don't want to contest this one. I'm going to try to steal the one in their base. He's doing that again. Last game he also did that, and it was against a Nature's Prophet as well. I would guess that it's just pretty annoying to contest against those heroes, and he knows that. Treant Protector's here. Sees Veno, immediately decides I'm not going to do this. Does not use Decay yet. Okay, so against a Veno and a Treant, why is Windlace good? Like, what did he see that made him think, I want to Windlace? Because last time against Nature's Prophet, he got the Ringer Protection to be a little tankier. Windlace helps him to avoid Treant. Unfortunate, misses the decay. I think he was hoping for a double decay from like Venno walking up and from Treant being here. Seems to prioritize using decay on the offlaner. Obviously trying to get doubles when he can, but when he has a choice, or when it's just a single, he always goes for the offlaner. Yep.
Nothing touches the heart like my venom.
The Windlace helps him get up to Venno. Venno's a pretty slow hero, even though he applies a lot of slows as well. Like, right now, DuBu is being slowed, but if you look at Venomancer's move speed, he's still at 280. So, with this Windlace, he's actually still faster than Venno. Barely, but he is. That could be why he got it. He's actually stolen a lot of strength, so his damage is quite high. Can he actually kill this? That'd be crazy. Oh, that slow saved him. Okay, waited to see if I don't know if you can do this anymore. Okay, he's gonna get out. Waited to see if the Arc Warden, what is this even called? Spark Wraith, was going to connect. And then once he saw it was, then he used the decay. Bought a Clarity. So, not pulling as much this game as the last one. We saw a lot of pulling. DuBu might die right here. In fact, he's definitely dead. Was a bit out of position there and got extremely slowed. What will he do? Did he buy any stuff when he was dying that I missed? Has this queued up. As he's dying, buys out the salve right before he dies. Okay. So he doesn't really lose any gold. Let's see. Maybe asking Arc Warden if he wants to drop anything. No, Arc Warden's got a ward on the way. Or the courier on the way anyways. He's going to TP. Yes. Gonna go try to interrupt the pull. Ends up warding here. Kind of surprised he didn't block the camp, because I think Venno's another hero who's also very good at dealing with a hard camp. Ooh. Oh man, that's ending up better than I thought it would be for them. Gets the deny as well. All around very good for them. What did he buy as he was dying? Anything? Decides to buy smoke. Interesting. Smoke, not something you use for the lane usually, but more when you rotate. But it does have a timer, so it's kind of good to get it on cooldown. No, he's using it to just return to lane faster. That's really cool. I like that a lot. So he teleported. He teleported to lane and then died. And so he bought smoke, which has become cheaper. It's only 50 gold now. And he is using it to increase his move speed. Where is he? To increase his move speed to get to lane sooner. So what is he at? How come I can't click him? Okay, Undying has 320 move speed, which means it would take him about 30-ish seconds to get here. A little more than that, I think. Yeah. But he's going to use smoke. Go up to 368. Left at around 3 minutes. Let's see when he gets to lane. But I think this is really cool. This is something now possible because they made smoke cheaper. And it's only 50 as opposed to being 80. And before, it's just like too expensive to do. But now it seems like he knows that he can't really leave Arc Warden alone in this lane. So he needed to get back as soon as he possibly could. And so he used a smoke, got here in about 27 seconds. Whereas he would still be about 6 seconds away at this point, I would guess. To be honest, I talked about it in my mechanics video to know these timings, and it's kind of slipping my mind already. But that's a really cool play. And I think you can do it in pubs because people aren't going to be as efficient with their smokes anyways. And you might... like, a pro team might buy a smoke and hold on to it to get it to start going on cooldown, and so you can stockpile smokes. Whereas in pubs, it's not going to be used as efficiently, so it will end up wasting time when they're, like, overlapped. And so I think he bought this pretty quickly, and it'll come back on cooldown before pub teams would really start using it anyways. So that's a really cool play. I'm gonna... if I ever die twice like that and don't have TP, which is something you want to avoid, maybe we can fix it with a smoke. That's pretty cool. Now, he does have Windlace, so it gets extra value from that. Turning the fight on Veno. I'm a little surprised he did not salve him right away. Maybe they thought it wasn't necessary. Or maybe they thought it was going to be canceled too soon. Oh, the slow. What's he doing? He's going to stack. No, he's going to pull. Even though he's missing out on this wave of experience, he valued pulling first. That's pretty interesting. I've been saying that a lot. But I think my instinct would have been to get all this XP. So what did he miss out on? I think he missed that. So he missed 3 creeps worth of experience, and he's going to pull instead. 3 creeps. It wouldn't have gotten him a level or anything, but he'd probably be about here in terms of experience. So actually, it would be more than that a little bit. But anyways, 3 creeps is not game-changing. He's already level 3, which means he has 2 points in Soul Rip. And 3 tends to be like a... when you have 2 points in one skill, that tends to be like this, power spike for supports. And then the next one is, could be level 4 to get all 3 of your abilities. But it could be that it's like all the way to level 6 when you get your ultimate. That's the next one. So maybe he feels like, okay, I don't need the XP that badly or the last hits. And it's more important to maintain lane control. If he didn't pull right now, these creeps would be pushing. So, like, these are going to die to the tower really quickly. In fact, they will be completely dead by the time these creeps get here. And then they probably won't meet the next creeps till about here, I would guess. But it looks like Treant is pulling as well. And I suppose he sees this, actually. He knows Treant is going to pull. So that's kind of the hard thing. We don't know when... we never know when DuBu's, like, looking at the minimap versus something else. So let's actually keep our eye on the minimap here. No, he's going to pull anyways, even without knowing where Treant is. Maybe he suspects that Treant could pull right here, and that would be bad for them. Because this lane's going to die, and this creep's going. So if Treant did a pull here, then they would start dying off here, and the lane would, like, shove all the way under tower. Which means for Arc Warden, who wants to play very safe, against a Venomancer and a Treant, you've seen it happen a couple times. Like, DuBu died right here, which isn't... like, this isn't that far away from the tower, but because of the way the slows stack from these heroes, if you're caught out, you're dead. And Undying and Arc Warden do not have escapes. And so if the lane comes, like, anywhere over here, you are in extreme risk of dying. If Veno just Qs you, and then Treant drops his slows as well, it's such a long journey back home. And so he really needs the lane to stay in this area, where if you get slowed, it's 3 steps back and you're safely under tower. So it's usually good to be near your tower anyways, but especially against a lineup like this. And I guess that's why he decides to pull. Like, he needs to guarantee that the lane equilibrium will stay around here as much as possible. And so I think that's why he gives up that experience there. Also takes it as a time to clarity, salves up. Sees him trying to pull, so he's going to run over. No, he's not. He's going to leave that to Arc Warden. And he's just going to focus on denying. Looks like it. Arc Warden is getting the farm and experience there safely. They managed to deny 1 creep and get the small camp. He's trying to ping to get back to the lane quickly. He might be dead here. He's trying to body block a little bit. Okay, they're going to get out. Are they going to bring the creeps under tower? Yes. I wasn't sure if they were going to like hold it out here until they could like bring it back to the next wave. But it looks like they've decided to let Arc Warden farm under tower. And then Undying is going to walk out here and try to get the experience from these creeps dying. Yeah, it's a rough lane. It's not going the best for them. Kind of expected, though. Treant and Veno are a pretty good combo. And Arc Warden is a pretty weak laner. Not going to get the bounty rune this game. But I think that's fair. Like, we just talked about how he could die here, being out of position. We saw Arc Warden almost die here. So imagine getting caught out of position all the way over here. You're probably dead. You know, if Treant slows you a bit, Veno comes and cuts you off, Qs you. He's got boots at this point, so he is faster, ever so slightly, but fast enough when you consider that Treant is going to also slow, so that if you walk out, you're probably dead. Gets his raindrops again, really likes raindrops. Yeah, Q does not do enough damage to break raindrops until it hits level 3. And against everyone else, you know, this technically... Oh, actually, No, yeah. Okay, so let me point something out. Venomancer, his Venomous Gale does damage per tick. So, like, every time it's doing 45, 75, whatever, factor in magic resistance. When something like Treant says damage per second, it's not always instances of 30. And in fact, Treant Protectors is not. I forget what the exact number is, but it's broken down into, like 7 damage a second or whatever. I'm sorry, not 7 damage a second, but it'll be something like 7 damage every, like, third of a second. So each instance of damage is actually below, say, 50. So even when you have Nature's Grasp maxed out and it's saying 60 damage per second, Treant's Q will not break raindrops because no single instance of damage is above 50. It is doing repeated amounts of small damage. This is really good to know if you're a TA player because I think any damage breaks refraction charges. Let's just double check real quick. I don't play TA that much, but I'm pretty sure it's any instance of damage. Yeah, so any instance of damage breaks TA's refraction. A fun one is Kunkka's Torrent. How much damage does it do? It does 300 damage maxed out. Did you know that Torrent does a really bizarre distribution of damage? It does... I don't remember it either. It's either a high up front and then a lot of small ones, or a lot of small ones followed by a high one at the end. It's one of those distributions, and so a single torrent will actually break refraction. Even though it looks like it does 300 damage in one go, it's actually broken up into several instances. And so that is good to know for TA players, but also for raindrops, to know that it's not actually going to proc and break against Treant Protector's Q. Let's get back to Undying. All of that to say is that they don't have the best ways to break raindrops, and so I think it's a pretty effective way to get a good amount of mana, tank up a little bit, and it won't be broken immediately. Gets another set of tangos, a clarity, and another ward. I wonder if he'll get a sentry because Treant Protector de-warded him here, so I think he should get a sentry. Trying to get some last hits. I believe they missed the Q, so he should be okay. So Venomancer is in a sketchy spot. He's going to have to actually go in even deeper to avoid being hit by the tombstone. And DuBu is going to chase him here. Feels pretty safe. That was a TP out. So even though you don't see them TP, sometimes you'll see the after effects. This right there means he TP'd out. It's important to be able to identify that so that you don't waste your time chasing around too long. Looks like DuBu recognizes that too because he stops chasing. And then he's showing in lane as well, so, you know. I actually missed if he bought a sentry. Did not end up buying a sentry. Got more mangoes? No, he had those mangoes. I forget what he has. Uses Soul Rip on the Veno. I wonder if he meant to heal Arc Warden, though. Although, if he didn't... So, I think Did Veno recently pick these up? No, Veno's had this for a bit, but I don't know if I've seen DuBu click on Veno, so he may not have known that he had raindrops. And perhaps that's why he was going for a kill on Veno before Arc Warden can die. And if you look at this, like when he uses Soul Rip, 120 damage, that would have brought him down to about 200. We'll say 240 due to damage resistance or magic resistance, which would certainly be closer to death than, 345. And so I think if you knew that Veno had raindrops, I think I would have used it as a heal instead. Though actually, Arc Warden is definitely dead in this case, I think. Even if you use the heal, I don't know if you can actually kill Veno in time. So maybe you have to go for the kill on Veno here. Not 100% sure, guys. Oh! It was close, though, in the end. So if Veno didn't have those raindrops, he definitely would have died first. Is going to die eventually. DuBu probably dead as well. No? Okay, he's going to get out. What's his build out of curiosity? I'm curious because I'm a Treant player. I got to know. I've been curious about now that Leech Seed is back to the way it used to be, but I just don't think it's that... I actually don't think it's that good unless you're a position 4 and you're matched with someone else who has like a lot of slows. Then it's like, okay. But like, do you max it? Do you max Q? Looks like he chooses not to. Chooses to get living armor. Oh, I forgot to say, Undying did not get a stick this time, which I think is fair. Until Veno actually gets Plague Wards, he does not cast a lot of spells. Q is a long cooldown. He only uses it very rarely when he is like ready to commit. Same with Nature's, who doesn't actually I'm sorry, Treant Protector, who doesn't actually he doesn't like spam his spells. He uses them when they're needed. Now he can spam living armor, but he can actually be like way out of sight. He doesn't actively cast it in range of stick. So it's actually kind of tough to get stick charges off of living armor. So it looks like stick he's identified that this is not a stick lane. What time was that? That was 47. Hits it mildly after 47. Began his attack at the end of 46 and it connected a second after 47. This kind of stuff is really helpful when you watch pro players to see like when they pull stuff. Just to know. No Nature's Prophets here. I guess Nature's was the 5. Can they actually just kill him? This is why it's good to level up Soul Rip. People don't expect the Soul Rip damage a lot of the times. That was pretty funny. Nature just walks in and dies. Okay. Can they kill the Veno here? As if it wasn't obvious. 3-on-1. Guys, I wonder what happens. Do you think they're going to kill him? They got him. Whoa. Okay, gonna TP home. He was very low, kind of close to dying. And, like, what can he do in the lane at this point? I think that's why he's TPing home. He has no mana. His spells are on cooldown. Or, like, Tombstone's on cooldown, and that's a big one. He's just so weak. And if Nature's Prophet TP'd in with, like, a Treant, they could probably kill him. Or, like, he's not going Exort, but, Veno lands 1Q, he's dead. So... decides this is a good time to TP home. I'm not needed in lane right now. Wind Ranger's here. I'm actually curious, does he run right back top? Because Wind Ranger came up here, but Wind Ranger should have her TP because she's just been walking. So it's like, do I go top? He gets boots. It looks like he's going to go top. Buys more regen. I wasn't paying attention to when he used mangoes. I should have been paying a bit more attention. But what I am noticing is that DuBu spends a lot of money on regen. Consumable regen as an Undying. So it's just... my take on that would be that it's like very important to be able to spam out your spells as an Undying. And I think we talked about this in one of the earlier videos as well. So at this point, the game is going okay. PL is doing quite well compared to Arc Warden. 600 is somewhat significant at this level, I would say. But Underlord is also doing quite well here. But it looks like mid is also struggling a bit. Overall, that's okay. In terms of lineups, it's a little tough. I would say the Radiant has a much stronger early lineup timing, and Dire has to wait for Arc Warden to come online, which can take a very long time. Arc Warden, you okay here? Ooh, very aggressive Tombstone. Okay, let's think about why he did this. In my mind, so it's funny, right before I said it, they ended up going in, and I was like, oh, maybe I'm wrong. But I'm going to tell you anyways that I was wrong, or potentially not wrong. We'll see. As soon as I see him get hit by Q, I'm thinking this guy is dead unless DuBu is able to do something very significant. And if I was DuBu, I might have just been like, you're dead. Sorry, dude. Kind of your fault for walking this far against multiple slows. But that's why I think DuBu like shifts down pretty quickly. Heals. Q. Like everything. Ults. He is committing everything to become this like wall where it's like, okay, if you're going to commit onto this Arc Warden, and they would kill him. But I mean, look at them. They're starting to get low next to an Undying. You know, maybe they can get some return kills. And so he's like creating this wall, and now he's like going ham. I kind of feel like maybe he could have backed up. As soon as they start to retreat, I think maybe he doesn't need to go this ham. But at the same time, Arc Warden might then die if he decides to back up and they turn around and continue the fight. DuBu would probably get out. He's quite healthy still, but this Arc Warden is probably dead. So maybe going ham like this is the only thing you can do. Tombstone comes off cooldown. Uses it very aggressively. I believe this is... Okay, it's at the edge of the tower. This prevents Veno from getting lost in the trees, so being able to sneak into the trees and hide. This prevents that, and it also makes it difficult for people to rotate in, although, as we can see, Nature's Prophet's still going to do it. Focusing Tombstone. Undying's going to die, but Arc Warden might survive. He is so slow. So slow. Huddle away! All right, let's... DuBu's also watching him be super slow. Gets a sentry. Speed up a little bit. Is he going to come back top? Yes. He's going to come and heal Arc Warden, is my guess. Yep. How do I do it? I see a low health Arc Warden just waiting by the tower. Do you think he's going to heal him? Alright, let's go. I'm always like speeding up and then a fight breaks out and I forget to slow down, but we should see it develop. That's what we're here to learn. So, Wind Ranger and Void Spirit already committing in quite a lot to get a kill. Stuff is still on cooldown because he used it earlier. Probably dead here. Heals himself. Yep, okay, he's gonna die. Probably not going to do the smoke trick here again. I don't think he needs to come top as urgently as last time. And at this point, a smoke is a little more... it's not as expendable as it was at 3 minutes. So what does he buy? Now he gets his stick. Kind of always good to get a stick as a support, especially against anyone that can drain mana. And he's waited till he has like some of the other stuff he felt he needed. Because Veno wasn't getting wards, I don't think he needed a stick in the lane. Undying, watching his buddy die up here. Oh, he actually did end up coming top. Wasn't he like running? I'm looking at the minimap right now. Okay, he was going like mid, trying to side. Looked like he was going to go bottom briefly, and then sees this developing, and then comes up top. Okay, D-wards this area. Gonna pull. This guy's dead, so it's not like anyone can stop him, so this is like free golden experience and some lane control in his favor. Getting all the last hits. PL has now come up here. What's he gonna do? Gonna hide in the back a little bit. Okay. So PL just runs in here. Does this make sense if PL was alone? It absolutely does not. So anytime you see someone do something like this, you should just assume it makes sense from the enemy team's perspective. Why would it make sense? If everyone was rotating in and he's starting the fight. So I think DuBu should be able to recognize that. Like, I think we're about to get dove right now. I think Nature's Prophet is probably TPing back here, and someone or two someones is like right here. Now we can see that they just killed Invoker, so he's not there. And I don't know if they know that Treant is down there. But like if we look at this, yeah, we can see on the minimap that these two heroes are right here. Like, why else would this guy ever do this if he was alone? No. So willing to commit the ult because I think he knows they're getting dove, and you're gonna need this stuff. The real Arc Warden gets away, so now he's just buying time. Pretty defensive tombstone. So this tombstone is going to be annoying to them, but it's also in the back so that it's not easy for them to get to right away. Try to build up a couple zombies. They probably will kill this if I had to guess. A Soul Rip to buy a bit more time. Steal a lot of strength. Yeah, he's going to die. Are they going to be able to get a return kill? Maybe? No, unfortunately. So they do end up getting his tombstone. I think the risk of Undying is that it is a little scary to commit tombstone sometimes because it is a lot of gold if you lose it. But it looks like he thought there it was worth dropping it, even though it was probably going to get destroyed because it might lead to a return kill. That would be my guess. What's he going to do? Looks like he's running back top. His teammates have all gone bottom, and someone needs to hold up here. Yellow came up here. So now maybe he doesn't need to be here anymore. What you gonna do, DuBu? It's gonna come defend mid. That seems reasonable. De-ward this area. Yep, covers the top. Can put your ward there. He wants to fight out mid, so I think this is okay. He wants to spot this area, and if anyone comes out to try to de-ward this, they're going to fight. They want to protect mid if they can help it. Okay, kind of hanging behind Arc Warden, making sure he's protected. Arc Warden's the hard carry this game. They need him to do well. Okay, fight's breaking out, so he's going to run down. It's intercepted. Defensive tomb placement. That'll affect these heroes, but not be easily reached. On the high ground for vision, and so that low ground heroes have a harder time getting to it. Soul Rip to heal. Now, Tombstone's going to die, but it did buy time. Void Spirit may have gone in too hard. So I want to emphasize Invoker's a big target that you could kill here. This guy is low, and I think a lot of people would have chased this Veno and looked for that kill to try to kill this low health Veno, even though this guy is quite high health, and it's like, okay, I'm going to go get this kill. But he identifies that Invoker is the one that they need to kill and is like most worthwhile, and now it's okay to like go for the Veno. Now he's going to die here. Now, would they have killed Invoker if DuBu had chased Veno? Maybe, in this case. But other times, sometimes you just need to prioritize one certain target. And often. It can be the guy that's not super low health. Chasing someone that's really low health for the kill can sometimes actually just be distracting, and you should actually focus on someone. Okay, he's gonna pick up more wards. Queues up a Midas. Is this true? DuBu. Oh, you player. Okay, he's gonna go for the Meteor Hammer. I should have known that because we looked at his items, and I was like, did he have one? Did I forget? Was it serious? Was he really thinking about a Midas? See, this is the issue when you don't know. You kind of have to theorize. It could have just been a joke where he's like, hey, I kind of want to get a Midas. It'd always be fun. Like, supports love to do that because we love having gold. He does know the game is going to have to draw out late, and so a Midas gets some value there. But in the end, it doesn't really help with anything else, and I think he knows that, and I think that's why he gets the Meteor Hammer instead. Something that will help him farm, like a Midas would, but provides way more utility for the team, provides better stats for the hero. So he's queued it up. Didn't get attack treads this game. Really not sure why. My guess would be last game, the main thing he had to worry about was right-click damage, and so it was easier to prioritize just getting strength and armor and damage block. Whereas this game, if he were to do that, he would just get whittled down by magic damage from Venno and Invoker. That might be my guess. Fight did not go well for them, and we should talk about why instead of just yawning the whole time. All right, so PL playing deep again. Pretty defensive Tombstone. Gonna get taken out by illusions. Now they're chasing. They have 4 heroes collapsing, and they know that PL's up here and this Nature's Prophet's here. Turns out the enemy team is here as well, though. And this is a really big combo for them to get Overgrowth into an EMP. They aren't really going to be able to fight back without any mana. All of these heroes are really mana dependent to spam stuff out. And now they're just going to be able to wipe the fight. So that was a really good counter initiate by the enemy team. Treant has got his Invis talent now. DuBu needs to buy some detection. Let's see if he's going to. Maybe he's going to depend on sentries. I don't think. Well, to be fair, it's pretty hard to kill Treant unless they break his passive. If they don't have good heroes to chase into the trees. Places Tombstone defensively because they sees that this is happening, but it looks like he's just going to end up feeding a bit more gold. I don't know about that cliff placement. I think maybe he placed it wondering, like, okay, maybe a fight's going to break out here because they obviously just killed Wind Ranger and they have several heroes here, but we also have several heroes here, so maybe we need vision on this high ground. But they are losing control of this area and they're just trying to get out. So I don't know. I'm not sure on that. It's, I mean, we see it gets instantly dewarded. Obviously, not every game are they already going to have a sentry in that area, but they have 2 heroes that can easily check high ground. 3 heroes, because you can doppelganger onto high ground. It's not a big deal. But you can also place Venno wards up there, and you can use Sprout to check high ground. So I would be really hesitant to place wards on the high ground against this team. Okay, nice D-ward. I'm not 100% sure what led him to believe there was a ward there. Possibly something from Wind Ranger dying earlier. Or maybe I missed them de-warding in this area. This game is snowballing out of control a bit. He's got the defusal. He's going to die next. Are you gonna die, dude? Yeah. This game's snowballing out. I would say I don't even know if anyone made a significant mistake. I kind of feel like they just have a draft that is meant to do this. Now, someone could have made a mistake. I don't know. Even watching from the outside perspective, it's hard to know that kind of stuff. Because we weren't watching, like, the 9 other players. From DuBu's perspective, it felt like things were kind of going okay until those recent fights. So, like, starting with this fight right here, where they got Treant Overgrowth into EMP and lost that fight pretty heavily. Up to that point, it felt okay. They were losing, but it seemed manageable. But since that fight, they have been repeatedly dying, and it's kind of snowballing into a bad place. And once that happens, it's tough because Undying doesn't have a comeback mechanic. Undying kind of needs to be in the lead. But with an Arc Warden who's going to be super behind, or he's going to, like, spend all his time farming, like, you kind of need to win every lane to... Not win every lane, but... I don't know. You just need to be able to do enough. And it's hard to do that against this. Tombstones for vision. Walking out here to try to get the runes, maybe, because the fight's already over. Decides not to wait around for the runes. TP's home. I guess because he saw a big fight breaking out and he felt like he needed to come home. Okay, his team's going to get out. Bot back. So he knows that they're losing this fight and that they're going to lose this tower. So he's telling his team, go push bottom right now so that we can at least get some map control there. Because we absolutely cannot fight this top 2 tower right here. They're going to get it for sure. To try to go push this out. They used Fortify for it. It's kind of interesting. Because now the enemy team could go high ground if they wanted to. But they're not. Now, several people didn't have TPs. If they had gone high ground, they could have actually gotten a bit of it. Uses Tombstone to break these trees so that Treant can't get in there. I think his passive was already canceled anyways. But, you know, play it safe. They really need kills at this point, so... Got some money stored up. Oh, we're gonna get this Meteor Hammer. Underlord's dead. Yeah, see, Treant's a support, so it's like, it's good to get any kill you can, but then you're gonna lose your offlaner. It's just kind of what happens when you're losing the game like this. The Arc Warden can't really leave. If he leaves, he can die so easily. Invokers here, they know that. This guy's trying to get out as quickly as he can. Choosing whether he reveals himself or lets this guy die. Decides he's just going to get out. That he can't do anything to help. I think that's the right call. Many people would come out and die. And it's important to know when you can and when you can't do anything. It's hard to know that, but it's what you need to work on learning. And in that case, I don't think DuBu would have done anything, and he would have just died. Died with the Void Spirit. And in fact, Void Spirit didn't even die. He, like, he's making this journey across the world, and in fact, let's go watch him. See how this goes. Just like running away the whole game. It's like, please, my ult, it's almost up. Run away. Speed up a bit. They end up killing Arc Warden instead while looking for Void Spirit. He's gonna die now? Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Alright. And where was DuBu? DuBu was pushing out top a bit. So, when your team is losing fights like that, I think many people will feel like they need to go respawn right away. But this goes back to, like, knowing what you can do or not. And DuBu knows that going back won't really do anything. He just needs to push out top lane to try to buy his team space. But it's a little too late because they are down 10k at 24 minutes. does have his Meteor Hammer now. Oh. Talking makes me sleepy, guys. Right, they're very scared to leave. High ground ward. I think this goes back to the same deal where whose life is at risk when we place a high ground ward. His team's game is at risk, you know, because they're trying to push high ground. The enemy team, their next step is to break high ground. And so they're gonna have to come here. This is probably gonna get dewarded, but it'll at least let you know if you can farm a little bit like here. Like say Arc Warden stands here and farms this camp or something, and then hopefully he has enough time to get out. I think that's why he's warding here. But I don't know. It kind of feels like you're going to lose it for sure. He's probably dead here. Yep. Doesn't have buyback. Carry's going to die. Arc Warden is the one that can stall out the lane push as well. Combining it between Underlord and Arc Warden. Arc Warden places the bubble. Underlord places the Firestorm, possibly the Pit of Malice to buy time and clear out the creep wave. Yeah, they're trying to stall this out, but I don't think they can. Yeah, they're too scared to leave the base. DuBu's given up, he said to end. He kind of knows. Everyone's just chatting the game. This is like when you know the game's over, but you're still like playing it through. So I don't know if there's like that much to learn here, because they've kind of lost, and it's just a matter of time. Like, look how long it's taking to kill the position 5 Nature's Prophet. Ages. So this one's done. So what was the difference? In the overall game sense, it's hard to say because of the whole draft, but let's think about the lane. I would say he won the last 2 lanes, but this lane, I think, did not go as well. I would say it's probably a loss. First game, he was able to play really aggressively against 2 strength melee heroes, and he was able to get a lot done. He didn't need to pull. He just played really aggressively and took up, like he made space in the lane and got an advantage that way by getting a couple kills, and he did a couple pulls, but like really not a lot. Second game against the 2 ranged heroes, he heavily emphasized pulling, and I think they were able to get 1 or 2 kills maybe. I don't quite remember, but I remember that he heavily pulled a lot. He didn't do his like extreme aggression that he did in the first game. And in this game, it felt like he tried to do a bit of pulling, but then he also got pulled into like Arc Warden cannot be left alone in that lane, because anytime he is, he will die if he gets double slowed. And so it's like he had to balance trying to pull, but then also to be there. And the issue is that even when he was there, it's not guaranteed that he could save his teammate. Now, a couple times they did have some very close fights, and maybe if they'd gotten a little luckier, they could have won. And the lane would have ended up differently. But they did start to lose, and from that position, it's really hard to come back when you have this double slow kill threat so that your carry cannot be left alone. And then it's like, well, what do? I can't really try to pull, and by being aggressive, like that doesn't work either against these heroes, and you're left with like very little choice. That is when the game can kind of be decided in the very first couple minutes to see who gets the like winning trade, the first couple levels, who's able to get a pull off without being contested. Those couple things at the very start of the game can result in the rest of the lane, like how that's going to go. And it felt like the enemy team got the advantage, and DuBu was put into a really rough spot, and then he wasn't able to do enough, so their lane was lost. take a look at the graphs real quick. Yeah, I would say at 10 minutes they lost. I mean, not the whole game, but like the comparing. So like safe lane wise, safe lane versus their off lane, technically Arc Warden's a bit in the lead, where he is about 400 gold ahead of the Venomancer. But Treant is also quite rich compared to, say, the Undying, which means that the enemy off lane actually ended up with a lot more gold than the safe lane. And then if we compare the Arc Warden to the PL, he's very behind in that sense. Now, Underlord is ahead of Venomancer, but then the position 4 Wind Ranger is not that far ahead of the position 5 Nature's Prophet. Plus, Arc Warden is a hero that kind of needs to get ahead at the start. Or, like, he needs to farm a ton. So the ideal position to be in is ahead. And anytime you're behind, it's kind of expected, but it's also, like, not the best because you're really not going to be able to do anything. Whereas at least if you're ahead, you can sometimes be left alone because with your ultimate, you actually have enough kill threat on some people to have a bit of space on your own. Whereas this game, he didn't have that. He was like constantly at threat of dying. Yeah. I think that sums up those 3 games. The Meteor Hammer does seem to be something that could have potential when your team needs a bit of pushing potential and you don't need any other support item. Like, what else could he have bought this game? He could have bought a Force Staff against the Nature's Prophet. But Void can get out of that very easily on his own. And then you have Power Shot to get out of that. And then Underlord originally had a Quelling Blade to be fine. But he's also a fairly tanky hero. And so if he gets sprouted, it's kind of like, I kind of wanted them to focus me anyway. So go ahead, hit me and sprout. And then Undying fits a similar role where he's like space creator inside. And I guess if you really needed to, you could use Tombstone to break the trees, but that's probably not the best use of it. Yeah, I can't really think of like another support item that would have had a huge impact. And maybe you're like testing out Meteor Hammer a bit, seeing like, okay, let's hopefully maybe we can use this to get some sick combos to get back into this game. Use it to like de-push the wave, that kind of thing. And like Underlord's buying all these aura items, so you don't need to get those. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. So we covered 3 videos on DuBu. I probably won't do any more. Undying for a bit. We might play some Undying. I don't know. But this kind of thing is what I do when I'm trying to learn a hero. I just look at a lot of pro replays. And 3 is a decent amount to get started. And then I usually continue to watch it as I play a hero. So if I was trying to play Undying right now, I would start playing him. And then at night or something when I don't feel well to play, or I'm like too tired, I watch another Undying game or something like that. So hopefully these 3 videos is enough to, if you were interested in learning Undying, to get a head start on that. Or maybe if you're not playing Undying, but just how to play against Undying, that's another way you can look at that. And to just generally inform yourself on support options. All right, have a good one, guys.